Greetings everyone and welcome to today's presentation. My name is Professor Aloy Onyeka, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of KO Mbadiwe University. We are making this presentation today, June 22nd, 2024. Today, Saturday, June 22nd, 2024. And the topic of our discussion today is developing the CCMAS 100% component courses at KO Mbadiwe University. As we are all aware, we have the 70% CCMAS component and of course developed by the NUC, and then the universities are supposed to develop their own 30% and combine the two to have a full CCMAS curriculum. So this discussion today is to guide us here at KO Mbadiwe University, to guide the heads of department and the faculty members, the departmental members, for us to understand the processes and the procedures for combining the 70% and the 30% CCMAS components so that we can have a complete 100% component of the CCMAS. Now, we are going to go into this discussion by looking at 5 steps. 5 steps we need to take in the process of combining the 70% and the 30% components of the CCMAS to have a holistic 100% CCMAS component. So we are going to take 5 steps. I want to make that description to describe the process in 5 steps for us to take here at KO Mbadiwe University. And I will be illustrating with one of the programs. I will do my illustration with one of the programs we are running, or we intend to run at KO Mbadiwe University, and that is cybersecurity. So now, what is the first step? For you to develop the 100% CCMAS in your department or in your program, the first step is to list all the CCMAS 70% component already done and already compiled by the NUCs. So that's the first step. We have to isolate the CCMAS 70% component courses. If you have seen the 70% component, you discover that what NUC has done is to combine the first and second semester of each level. For instance, 100 level, the first and second semester courses are combined. How do you know the first semester courses? They are the courses that the course codes end with an odd number. And of course, the second semester courses are the courses that their course codes end with an even number. So now all that were recorded in the 70% CCMAS in no particular order. So the first thing you have to do is to arrange the 70% CCMAS in such a way that the first semester courses will come up first, then below the first semester courses, you now have the second semester courses. So that's the first thing you do by, first of all, isolating the first semester and the second semester courses in the 70% CCMAS component. Now, when you do that, for the case of the cybersecurity, you will have something like this. Now, this is CCMAS 70% component courses for cybersecurity. Those of us who have the 70%, you discover that this is not the way it was arranged by NUC, but we have rearranged them. So how did we do that? You can see that the courses in yellow are the first semester courses because the course codes end with odd number. And then the courses in blue color are the second semester courses. Why? Because the course codes end with even number. Now, this is what is there in the 70% CCMAS component of cybersecurity with a total of 23 units. So that's the first step. Now, what is the second step for us here in KOMU? Now, after arranging the first and second semester courses from the 70% component, the second thing you have to do for us here at KOMU is to now add the KOMU CCMAS 30% component of the GST courses. Because the GST courses are compulsory, and we have developed our own 30% GST courses. They are compulsory, they are not elective courses. So it is compulsory that you have to add them. So if you are dealing with year 1 first semester, for instance, we have our own 30% GS courses. So after listing the 70% CCMAS courses for the first semester, then you have to go and pick our 30% GST courses. So that's the second thing. We have to add the KOMU CCMAS 30% GST courses. And after adding those courses, then the third thing you have to do is to determine the outstanding semester total number of units and courses. Now, what did we do in step 1 and 2? Step 1, we collected all the 70% compulsory CCMAS courses. Step 2, we still added our own compulsory 30% GST courses. So what do you do in step 3? Now in step 3, you have to add all the credit units of the 70% compulsory courses and the 30% compulsory GST courses. You have to add them. When you add them, you will now get the total number of units for that semester. So for instance, if you added and you have about 14 units for a first semester, year 1 first semester, then under normal circumstances, we should expect that in year 1 first semester, they should do up to 20, 21, 22. Of course, you know that the maximum number of units is 24. So if we are targeting 21 units, for instance, and when you added the 70% CCMAS component courses and the 30% compulsory GST courses, and you have 14 units, and you are looking for 21 units, then you should now know that what is outstanding is about 7 to 8 units that you are going to add to these 14 units to be able to get 21 or 22 units. So in year 1, for instance, it doesn't look nice for them to be doing 15 units. So if you have the 70% CCMAS and you've added all our GST courses, compulsory GST courses for that semester, and you are getting 14 units, don't just add only 1 unit and say, okay, since they say minimum is 15 units, we've had 15 units, you stop there. No. These people have just come in year 1, and there's no provision for carryover courses, so they shouldn't do 15 units or 16 or 17 or 18, though according to the law, even if they do 15, they satisfy the law, because the law says that you should have minimum of 15 units in a semester and maximum of 24. So, but if you have 14, don't just add 1 or 2 units. You need to add more so as to get about 21 units, 22 units for year 1. And of course, as you now progress, as they go to year 2, year 3, year 4, the total number of units per semester may now begin to reduce. So that is step 3. For you to be able to implement step 3, which is to determine the outstanding courses, you have to add the total number of units you've obtained from the 70% compulsory CCMAS and the total number of units you've obtained from the compulsory 30% GST courses. If you add that, then you will now subtract from your expected total number of units in that semester, whether it's 21, 22, you subtract. Then that will now tell you the number of units. For instance, if you have about 7 to 8 units remaining, then it means that you have to add about 3 or 4 courses. If you add 4 courses, each with 2 units, then you have 8 units. Or if you have 3 courses with 2 of them are 3 units, and the third course is 2 units, you can get 8 units, and so on and so forth. If it is 7 units that you want, that can give you about 3 courses, because you can have 1 course for 3 units, then the other 2 courses will be 2 units. That's 4. So the important thing is that you have to first of all determine the outstanding number of units. From the outstanding number of units, you will now be able to find the approximate number of courses you have to develop. So then, how do you develop those courses? We will come to that, but let's look at the example we are practicing. For instance, here, we now discover that we have taken steps 1 and 2. Steps 1 is that all these courses in black here are the 70% compulsory courses. Then you can see these ones in red, the KOMU GSC 113 and KOMU Igbo 113 are our compulsory GS courses. So the black ones are step 1, the red ones are step 2. Now the step 3 is to add. So if you add all these, you now have 16. That's step 3. And this 16 will now help you to determine the outstanding units. For instance, for first semester, if we are targeting 21 units and we have added here to get 16 units, then what is outstanding should be 21 minus 6 minus 16, which is around 5 units. And 5 units means that we have to develop some courses, either 2 or 3 courses. We can develop 2 courses, 1 3 units, 1 2 units. That will give us 5 units. Or we can develop 3 courses, maybe 1 2 units, another one 2 units, then the third one could be 1 unit. So that means that for those of us in cybersecurity, having taken compulsory 70% for first semester, and then domestic or domesticated GS courses, KOMU GS courses, all we could get is 16 units. So we have to develop more courses. So that's the way it is. You go about implementing or compiling your 100%. So if you look at second semester, again, you will see all these ones in black color are the 70% compulsory component. Then the one in red, that is KOMU GSC 114 and KOMU Igbo 102. Those ones are the compulsory GS courses, and for us here in KOMU. So, and when you add everything for this second semester, you are getting 13 units. So if you have 13 units here, it means you need about 8 units if we are targeting 21 units, because 21 minus 13 will give us 8 units. And then for you to be able to get these 8 units, you have to deal with maybe about 3 or 4 courses. If you have 4 courses and each of them is 2 units, of course, definitely you are going to get 8 units. Or if you have 3 courses, maybe 2 of them are 3 units, that's 6 units, and then the third one is 2 units, then you now have your 8 units. So that's the way it is. We have dealt with step 1, which is getting the 70% compulsory courses. Then step 2, which is getting another compulsory 30% KOMU domesticated courses. Then step 3 is to determine the outstanding number of units. By the time you add these two and you subtract from what you are projecting, you now determine the outstanding number of units. And once you determine the outstanding number of units, you have automatically also determined the outstanding number of courses. So the fourth step now is for us to now add these outstanding courses, so that we will now have 21 units here, 20, 21, 22, or we can have 20, 21, 22 units in this place. So how do we make up for the outstanding courses? That's step 4. So step 4, we are going to add the outstanding semester courses. So we said once we have determined the remaining and outstanding number of units, and of course invariably we have determined the outstanding number of courses for that particular semester, then the next thing we have to do is to proceed and add those outstanding courses. How do we get the outstanding courses? There are two ways we can get the outstanding courses. One is that we can get these outstanding courses from some of the already defined CCMAS 70% compulsory courses from related programs. So if it is cybersecurity we are dealing with, you may discover that there may be some related programs to cybersecurity like computer science, like information technology, like mathematics, some of that, well, at 100 level, you even expect things like physics, chemistry, and some science disciplines. So all these are related to cybersecurity. And there are already 70% compulsory courses in those related programs. So you can make up for the outstanding semester courses by picking from already defined 70% compulsory courses from related programs. Then, of course, the second part to make up, which is actually what NUC is encouraging, is for us to domesticate from our own program. So the cybersecurity people may now have to develop some special courses that are not already captured in the 70%. So that's how to add up this. But from experience, we discovered that at 100 level, it's difficult to develop so many the program related courses. So sometimes it may be easier to pick from already 70% component courses of related programs. So these are the two ways you can actually develop the outstanding courses. And for the case of the cybersecurity, you can now see what we have done. So remember, we started with these ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 70% component first semester CCMAS for cybersecurity. Now, 1 and 2, that is KOMU GSC 113 and KOMU Igbo 112. These are compulsory GST KOMU 30% courses. Now, when we did that, we discovered that we needed 5, that gave us 16 units, so we needed 5 more units. Now, these are those 5 units. We have to go and pick chemistry 101 and chemistry 107, which is 3 units, and we picked maths 103. These are related courses because even here, you see, they've already done maths 101, so we just added maths 103 to them. And of course, those in cybersecurity may still need a little bit of chemistry. These are 100 levels. So that's how we now make up for the outstanding courses. Is that the 3 outstanding courses here are already part of 70% compulsory courses from related programs. But when you get to second semester, you now discover that, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 courses are the 70% compulsory components for second semester. Then 1 and 2, that is KOMU GSC 114 and KOMU Igbo 102, are the compulsory GS courses from 30% KOMU domesticated courses. I think when we added up, we had about 13 units, and because we are targeting 21 units, it means that we needed about 8 units. So you can now see we have those 8 units here. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 3 is 6, of course, plus 2 is 8. So how did we get the 8? Because we have taken Chem 101 and 107 here, we now felt that they should complete the chemistry course by taking Chem 102 and Chem 108. So that gives us 3 units. Now, they've done a little bit of statistics here, descriptive statistics. There's no statistics compulsory course for them in second semester, but we now felt that they could still improve their knowledge of statistics by going to pick a second statistics course in the second semester. That's probability. So that's another 3 units. Now we have a domesticated course that is actually related to cybersecurity. So at KOMU, we have tried to develop this course. We call it KOMU Course 102, and we call it Basis of Artificial Intelligence. So this is a faculty course. Right now, we intend cybersecurity and information technology to be operating under School of Science, but later on you know that they're going to go to Faculty of Computing. And because computer science, software engineering, cybersecurity, information technology, all of that are supposed to be in Faculty of Computing. And of course, they should also have some faculty-based courses. And under CCMAS, faculty-based courses from Faculty of Computing have the code COS. So for us here at KOMU, we have domesticated one course which we call KOMU COS. It's a faculty course. It's not a GST course. It's a faculty course. We intend that all the programs under Faculty of Computing, when it eventually takes off, should be offering this course. It's compulsory for them. But then any other program outside the Faculty of Computing can also take it. So, but definitely it is not a GST course that is compulsory for all students in KOMU. So now, cybersecurity being under, well, eventually Faculty of Computing, we have now picked this faculty course, that is KOMU Homegrown Faculty Course, and we call it Basis of Artificial Intelligence. So when you do that, you have the 21. So that is step number 4, which is actually adding the outstanding courses. And we said there are 2 ways you can add those outstanding courses. It is either you take them from already 70% components of related courses, or you take them from the 30% domesticated courses. So that is the 4th step. And of course, that will take us to the 5th and final step, which is actually to add the course synopsis. Of course, this one follows naturally, because having gotten the course outline the way it should be, then it is easy for you to develop the course synopsis. So the 5th and final step is to add the course synopsis, or the details. And this has to be done in a hierarchical or sequential order according to the order of the courses that the courses actually appeared on the course list. So you follow that same order. Then you should note that from NUC regulations, the synopsis of the 30% homegrown courses will include these items. Number 1, it will define the course. You first have of course state the course. Of course, you have to state the course code, course title, unit, the status, whether compulsory or elective, the number of lecture hours, number of practical hours. So that has to be stated. That's the first line. Then in developing the 30% homegrown, you have to state the Senate approved relevance, and of course there should be an overview, which is normally about a maximum of 2 paragraphs. Then there should be objectives of such a course you are introducing as part of your 30% homegrown courses. There should be objectives, and the objectives of the course should be at least 5. You should be able to list at least 5 objectives. Then this will be followed by the learning outcome. Again, you should be able to list at least 5 learning outcomes. Then finally, you will now put the course content of such a homegrown course. And of course, the course content has to contain at least 17 topics separated with a full stop. So where we have done training on CCMAS and how to develop the 30%. So, but we just needed to put it here just as a reminder of what we are supposed to do. So that is the process, the 5 processes. You discover that at the end of the day, you are now going to have something like this. So you are now going to arrange, remember, you are now going to, we prefer to arrange all the 70% component courses first, then followed by the 30% component courses. So You can put them in any order, but it is better you put them in alphabetical order. So for cybersecurity, this is the final thing that we have now. You can see that I have KEN 101, KEN 107. These were not there. These are not compulsory courses, but we have picked them because they are related. Course 101 is compulsory, GSC 111 is compulsory, Maths 101 compulsory, Maths 103 is not compulsory, but we have picked it. It's a related course. Physics 101, Physics 107, Star 111, they're all compulsory from the 70%. Then this is compulsory KOMU GST courses for them. Then second semester, you have KEN 102, KEN 102 not compulsory but related. We have picked them. Then course 102 is compulsory, GSC 112 compulsory. Maths 102 is not compulsory. We picked it because it's related. They've offered Maths 101. We want them to still improve on their knowledge of mathematics. Physics 102, Physics 108 compulsory for them. Star 112 not compulsory, but because Star 111 is compulsory, we've added this to strengthen their knowledge in statistics. Of course, KOMU course 102 is compulsory KOMU course for those in the faculty of computing. So it's a domesticated course, and of course these are also compulsory GST courses. So once we have done this, the synopsis, in writing the synopsis, we should first of all state the synopsis for KEN 101. We have to copy it from the 70%. KEN 107, you copy from the course 101, you copy from 70%. So all this, the synopsis, all these synopsis, we will get it from 70% component of the CCMAS. Then of course, this the synopsis of this is the one we have developed. So you now paste it, and you also put the synopsis for KOMU Igbo 101. After that, you go to second semester. When you go to second semester, you start with KEN 102, KEN 108, the synopsis for all this. When you are done with the synopsis for the 70% component courses, whether they are the original 70% compulsory for that department, and the other 70% you go for related programs, you first of all state the 70%, the synopsis, then you now put the synopsis of the KOMU courses. So that is all. You can see that it's not a difficult thing to do. So in summary, step 1 is to list the CCMAS 70% component courses. Step 2 is to add the KOMU CCMAS 30% GST courses because they are compulsory. Then step 3 is to determine the outstanding semester total number of units and consequently the total number of courses by subtracting the total of this from what you are budgeting, then knowing the difference, that will now determine the number of courses, which you can now add as step 4, either from already existing 70% CCMAS from related departments or the actual and the real homegrown 30% courses. Of course, you at the end, depending on the order of in which you have settled these courses, you can now state the synopsis of all the courses. So that brings us to the end of this discussion. We hope you enjoyed it. We have just done a practical case with that of cybersecurity for the Year 1 program. You can also do the same for the 200 level, for the 300 level. And though we have also applied this only for our program here at KO Mbadiwe University, you discover that the process is the same, and this will also be of an advantage to people from other universities. So we encourage other tertiary institutions, other universities to also follow this same procedure, and they will be able to combine the CCMAS 100% courses. Thank you for watching. I remain Professor Aloy Onyeka, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, KO Mbadiwe University. Thank you, and God bless you.